Good morning. So the podcast that I chose to listen and read about is titled Retrieval in Action: Creative Strategies from Real Teachers. So the podcast talks about fun and creative ways to engage students in the content that we teach by giving us some key strategies. It gives us up to 9 different ways in which we can track, engage, and guide our students through the learning process. While giving us different strategies, it also makes us aware of things that we should watch out for, such as making sure students don't rely fully on their notes when engaging in this strategy that I'm about to talk about. So 2 things that I think are key that my peers should know is that 1, students need to be able to learn from their peers because it not only facilitates classroom discussion, but it also helps you, the teacher, spot learning gaps in the content. And then you can just be able to hear, their thinking about the topic at hand. And it's also a way for teachers to assess the knowledge quickly and equitably. And the second thing that I think my peers should know is that if we want to provide in-the-moment corrections, students can benefit from an answer and proof sheet, which is behind me, and I'll model that in a second. And this allows the teacher to view the student's thinking about a particular answer and why they chose it. So yesterday I had my class go through the poem Hanging Fire by Audre Lorde. And so I put it on the board, not the answers, but I have them kind of set up their sheet like this. So on the left side you have answer, and it only had 4 questions. So answer with the questions and the multiple choice answers. And then on the right side is proof. So I went through and I modeled at the beginning of the year how to use this. So if your answer is C, you would give me 1 to 2 short little reasons about why it's C. And then it's the same thing for 2, 3, and 4. But this just helps students kind of think through their answer, because more often than not, if they're able to explain their answer choice, then they most likely got the answer right. So this was about a poem about a boy who was feeling very anxious because his mom, never came to support him. And then because he also has braces, he's asking questions about why, he has to wear this, and he's really self-conscious. So at the beginning of the year, I would give them a piece of paper, blank sheet of paper, can be lined, can be just blank. I have them fold it hot dog style, and on one side have them write answer and the other proof. And so I would model this on the board. I would say, fold your paper hot dog style. On the left, write answer. On the right, proof, and then your name. And then have the question numbers. And then if it has 4, like the last one we did, A, B, C, D, so that as they're going through the questions, they can, mark off or cross out 2 that they know aren't right. So that gives them a 50-50 chance of picking the right one. And then once they pick an answer, I always want them to explain it, short little explanations, because that makes me, when I'm circling, I'm able to see, what they chose and why they wrote it. And if they chose the right answer, but if they're not explaining it, I'm able to tell them to go back into the text and find something that can help them better explain why they chose their answer. So when implementing this strategy, I always say start early. One thing we talk about in my PLC is start with the end in mind. So if you're starting a new module or a new unit, we always start with the tests or the assessments at the beginning, so that we're able to go through the test ourselves, see where students might, make a mistake. And also it gives us time to process our answers, so that when we're going around and we're checking, what students have written, we have a template to say, hey, check that again, or reread this little section. So you always want to have kind of like your template in hand so that when you're going around, you can help students in the moment. And then also too, if you start at the beginning of the year and you model it for the students, it gives them a clear visual, because a lot of the kids nowadays are visual learners. So it just gives a clear, oh, this is what I need to have, or this is what, they're looking for. So it gives them like a step-by-step of how they should, one, lay out their paper, and also two, it gives them the expectations for what you're looking for. And the proof side, so when doing this, the proof side of the paper, so that's their explanation part, doesn't have to be lengthy. Like I had on the board, just simple, short little bullet points. So yeah, just short little bullet points, because this is how you're able to give consistent feedback, in the moment feedback, and the students know what you're looking for. And it also gives you, the teacher, an understanding of what you might have to go over in the following lessons, or it gives you an opportunity to bring up questions in your PLC.